This is a state that is having trouble again with its governor, much like Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan is locked in a very tense standoff with Governor Arif Mohammad Khan. In fact, joining me now is Governor Khan himself, who has been making many headlines for the last many days. Governor Khan, first and foremost, thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. The CPIM, as you know, is planning a major protest against you on November 15th, which will be joined by the DMK as well. They are accusing you of violating the federal structure of this country, of speaking like a BJP spokesperson. How do you respond to those charges?
We are a free country, we are a democracy. If they feel upset with any action of mine, they are most welcome. They have every right to do it, but what I am doing is only trying to apply the law which has been laid down by Honorable Supreme Court in its judgment, saying that any appointment of for the appointment of the Vice-Chancellor, if the selection committee has a non-academic as its member, then the appointment will be void ab initio. If the selection committee recommends the name of one person for the appointment as against the regulation of UGC, laying down that there will be a panel of 3 to 5 persons, then the appointment is ab initio. This is a law which has been laid down by Honorable Supreme Court. It is my duty. I am duty bound to apply the law as laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court.
Okay. In any case, you are now not the chancellor of one of the universities, at least. You say you are ensuring that the law of the land and the rules of the UGC and the Supreme Court are followed when it comes to the appointment of vice-chancellors. First things first, these are vice-chancellors that you signed on to. If you had a problem with them, why didn't you speak before, firstly? And secondly, you are being accused of overreach in this entire matter. I mean, given the fact that VCs themselves have now, of course, approached court for relief. The charge against you is overreach.
If the government tries to do anything about the universities, it is interference. Chancellor asking the university vice-chancellors, that is not interference. When we adopted the system, and this was not only in Kerala, all over the country, that in every state, governor was given ex officio charge as chancellor of the universities. That was a declaration, an announcement to the world that there shall be no interference in the functioning of the universities by the executive. Otherwise, you can run the universities as the problem. But in order to satisfy the academic world, in order to satisfy the requirements of the UGC, in order to have as an educational system, same education system all over India, the responsibility was given to the governors. They were made chancellors of the universities. Interference, one can complain of interference if I have interfered in any business of the government. But this not only a convention, but statutorily, running the universities is the responsibility of the chancellor. Last 3 years, I had become so exasperated because of their interference that at one point of time I offered them, please relieve me, because the statute has been passed by the Kerala Assembly. So I requested them, make some other arrangement, because you keep interfering all the time. It is not possible for me to carry out your wishes. But then they insisted, wrote 3 letters to me, which I rejected because there was some if and but. Finally, 4th letter, unqualified assurance that government shall not interfere in the functioning of the universities. Then only I resumed my duties as chancellor. But earlier, whatever I was doing in the light my problem was that they are asking me to violate the guidelines of UGC, regulations of UGC. Now, Honorable Supreme Court has made it crystal clear. In the case of Calcutta University, they have said state government has no business to interfere in these matters. So now it's a changed situation, radically changed situation, and if at all they had any idea that they are entitled to interfere in the universities, now it is absolutely clear they cannot.
Okay, but you say you wanted to be relieved of your duties as Chancellor, and the left front government actually begged you and wrote you letters and said no, continue. Now they themselves have relieved you of that charge. They brought in an ordinance, a legislation to say that the governor doesn't need to be the Chancellor of our universities. We will appoint many academics as chancellors.
I'm not challenging their right. I'm not challenging their right, but they cannot, in the light of the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, they cannot overrule the UGC regulations. And UGC, any measure which they adopt, if it is repugnant to UGC regulations as far as the administration of universities is concerned, that is illegal and invalid.
But sir, it's not just political parties in the state of Kerala. It is even journalists that you have a problem with. You've had run-ins with, of course, the left front government, but you're having run-in with journalists as well. We've all seen that video that has now gone viral, where you are throwing a fit, refusing to speak to the press unless, journalists from 2 television channels are thrown out of that place. Why this anger against the press as well?
About the episode you are referring to, I do not feel very happy about it. But what do you do when they try to replace words in your tweet and they are told that this is not the word which has been used in the tweet, and they say that they will correct it, and they do not correct it. They keep broadcasting it, telecasting it for next 24 hours. Why? Because they are not actually media. They are the propaganda wing of CPM and Jamaat-e-Islami. They believe in the legitimacy of violence. Everybody knows. This is not something which I am revealing some new thing to you. Everybody knows that they believe in the legitimacy of violence. Therefore, I said that you try to, not even the spoken word, the written word, you replace by another word. And despite being reminded twice, you continue to telecast it for 24 hours. Then what to do? Some people sometimes need to be spoken in a language which they understand. I am not very happy about that. In fact, I would like to keep my doors open for everybody. But they had crossed the limit, and they tried to change the written word and said, instead of quoting what I had said in my tweet, they were replacing the word and saying something which was totally fabricated by their own imagination.
Okay. Governor Khan, we leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for joining us. With that, it's a wrap on Urban Debate as well. Thanks, everyone, and good night.